Obstetric lecture, and today we are going to discuss about the session which is very important in obstetric, and practically it is very useful also for your theory purpose. It is asked for long question as well as for short question, and the topic is infant feeding or breastfeeding. The infant growth of the infant during first 6 months is very greater and faster than other period of life, and baby's weight is doubled by the age of 5 months to 6 months than its birth weight by the end of 1 year. Keeping this in mind, the baby should be nursed adequately because baby has to double its weight from its birth till completion of 1 year. Like for example, if baby is born by the birth weight is 3 kg, then baby should be at 6 kg, 5.5 to 6 kg till completion of 12 months. So that will be the curve of baby's weight, and if we have to achieve this normal curve, then baby should be properly and adequately given the baby food, or basically infant should get breastfeeding properly. So we are going to discuss about this infant feeding or breastfeeding. This type of breastfeeding is of two types. First of all, it is breastfeeding natural, and second is artificial feeding. So first of all, natural or breastfeeding. Before that, we should know the requirement of baby. The infant should get sufficient fluid, and intake is about 150 to 200 ml per kg per body weight per day. This is the basic requirement or minimum requirement, 150 to 200 ml per kg body weight till the full day, 24 hours. And baby should get the calorie of 100 to 110 kilocalorie per kg body weight. This is the minimum requirement. 30 ml breast milk should be given. 30 ml breast milk give 20 calories. So accordingly, we should measure the intake of baby. Baby should get 100 to 110 minimum kilocalories per kg body weight. And for this calculation, we have to know 30 ml breast milk gives just 20 calories. So accordingly, we should make the chart or the requirement of baby and the schedule of feeding. The baby or the baby's food or the breastfeeding or any artificial feeding should have protein, fat, carbohydrate, mineral and vitamins which are digestible. So which feeding we should start should be containing of this carbohydrate, proteins, minerals, vitamins and other things, so that baby's growth will be complete. So now we will discuss about this natural feeding of baby, or we call as breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is the natural technique for feeding of baby. Baby is born. Immediately after that, baby should be given, after the proper care of mother and management of her mother, because of that labor and if surgical delivery. So proper care of mother and proper management of mother is over, then we should start the breastfeeding immediately after birth of baby. And the first milk of mother, which is the first breast milk, which is called as colostrum, and it is very rich in antibodies. It is also rich in various vitamins, minerals. So it is very nutritive for baby. So first milk is very important. So as far as possible, we should try to give breastfeeding as early as possible. This is about the importance of first milk, because there are conceptions that first milk should be discarded, it is not good for baby, but it is not like that. According to WHO or new concepts of this breastfeeding and importance of breastfeeding, it is very highlighting that the first milk or colostrum is very rich in the antibodies and various vitamins and minerals and other required things. Nowadays there is a lot of initiation has been taken for this breastfeeding or encouragement for this breastfeeding. This is called as baby friendly hospital initiative. In this, WHO and UNICEF has told for hospitals to encourage about this breastfeeding and to give the importance about this breastfeeding, breast milk, and the importance of first milk for baby. So protecting, promoting, and supporting breastfeeding. This is the main concept or main vision or aim of this project of WHO and UNICEF in combined. And from that, there must be a breastfeeding policy in all hospitals. All healthcare staff should be trained for this. All breastfeeding, there should be provision for breastfeeding in nursing homes. Mothers are shown in the best way to breastfeed. Unless medically indicated, newborn should be given no other food or artificial food. To practice rooming in, that means allowing mother and babies to remain in 24 hours day in a room, that is called as rooming in, so that there is a bond can develop in between mother and baby, and there should be a secretion of breast milk. To encourage the demand of breastfeeding, and breastfeeding groups, supporting groups are established, and no artificial feeding till 6 months. So these are the main goals or the objectives of this new concept of breastfeeding. So according to this concept, till 6 months of baby from birth, only a baby should be fed with this breastfeeding. No external food, not even water is allowed because of this new concept. But in India, like country where there is climatic problems and other problems, we can just add some water, but only breastfeeding till 6 months is very much effective for developing antibodies and for proper growth of baby. So this is the newer concept. Now advantages of breastfeeding. Breast milk. First of all, we will see the composition of this breast milk. It is the ideal food for baby, and it is very easy for digestion, and it is composed of mainly carbohydrate. Mainly it contains lactose that stimulates the intestine of baby, and so that baby's digestion improves. Secondly, it is composed of fat globules, and they are also easy to digest. Proteins, this is rich in lactoglobulin, so these proteins are very important for baby's initial growth. Also it contains minerals like sodium, potassium, and other required minerals. And this is the composition: protein, carbohydrate, fat, and mineral. This is the composition of breast milk, and also of course water. Also it contains vitamin D, some enzymes in breast milk which are required for baby's growth. This is available easily, and it does not require any special temperature, no costing, special costing. Breastfeeding is also important for growth, as well as it acts as a natural contraceptive for that mother, so that whenever there is a continuation of breastfeed, chances of pregnancy are very less. So it is the alternate method of contraception also. So this is the main advantage, as it composed of many essential nutrients for baby. It is easily available, no special temperature is required, no special costing, or no costing rather, it is available from mother only. And also as a contraceptive measure, some other things which are because of this breastfeeding are: there is no chance of allergy, as it is mother milk or it's from baby's own this thing, so there is very less chance of allergy. Psychological benefit for mother as well as for child. Also it helps for the recovery of after the delivery, like changes in uterus that we called as involution of uterus. So it helps to gain the main or original size of uterus, that we called as involution. Uterine size is increased in pregnancy, and slowly it decreases, or uterus becomes normal sized. That procedure of gaining original size of uterus is called as involution. So breastfeeding also helps this involution process. So these are the main advantages of breastfeeding. If we give artificial feed to baby as compared to breastfeed, chances of diabetes in babies are more. Then chances of infant death because of asphyxia and allergies, severe allergies, that can be also developed. It can also develop childhood obesity if we give the artificial feeding. Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, and some allergic diseases. Also it is not complete food for baby, as it is not composed of all the required nutrients for that baby in that manner which are required. So it is not ideal food. So baby's growth is not proper as compared to breastfeed babies. So artificial feeding is not as satisfactory as breastfeeding. So that is about advantages of breastfeeding over the artificial feeding. So this breastfeeding, as we just now discussed, it should start immediately after delivery of baby, as far as possible after treatment of mother. So initial milk is very important. So now preparation of breastfeeding it's very natural process. So just after delivery, by cleaning of the mother and other things, she can start breastfeeding. And after that, usually we advise to clean the patient for personal. We advise for personal hygiene, at least cleaning of breast in a day. After each feeding, it is advisable, but at least not possible 1 to 2 times proper cleaning of breast. And baby should be fed properly. After that, first feed, this should be given, as we discussed, immediately after delivery, as far as possible, as early as possible. And cesarean, it should be given after 4 to 6 hours, as anesthesia, there is effect of anesthesia on mother. So as far as possible, we should try to give the breastfeeding as the mother is out of anesthesia. Then frequency of feeding is, there is no particular time schedule for this breastfeeding, but interval of 2 to 3 hours is sufficient, and baby can have its feed. And basically it depends on the baby's hunger. So demand feeding is rather it is very advisable. Whenever baby cries for this feed, we can advise for breastfeeding. Or if it is not planned, then we can advise for feeding in 2 to 3 hours, by the interval of 2 to 3 hours. Usually we advise for demand feeding. Whenever the baby gets up and baby needs the milk or food, baby will be give its demand. Baby shows the cry and other things, and so that mother can know and she will give the feeding. Duration of feeding should be at least for 10 minutes on each side. 10 to 15 minutes she should feed the baby on each side, because if we allow the mother to feed only on single side, then there will be accumulation of milk on the other side, so that can lead to breast abscess and pain in the breast and other things. So alternately feeding should be advised, and 10 to 15 minutes is the minimum period, because milk is in the form of foremilk and hindmilk. Foremilk is the initial milk, which is usually watery somewhat, and hindmilk, which contains the nutrients and fat. So foremilk and hindmilk is very important for baby. So complete feeding is advisable. 10 to 15 minutes is the period where baby can get both the types of milk, foremilk as well as hindmilk. And it is advised to have feeding on both sides, but at least on the alternate side it is advisable on each feeding. Night feeding is advisable in initial days, because the baby needs the food in short period. So night feeding is advisable. Then it is changed according to baby's pattern. Amount of feed is the average requirement of milk is about 60 ml per kg in 24 hours. And then it increases about 100 ml per kg in 24 hours. And then it increases up to 150 ml per kg in 24 hours. As it depends on again baby's condition. So average is 100 to 150 ml per kg in 24 hours. This is the minimum requirement. So according to that, that mother can decide about the schedule of feeding. Proper technique of breastfeeding we should advise for that mother. Mother should be comfortably sit on the bed, and she should take the baby, and good attachment should be there in mother and that infant. Milk transfer begins with good latch on hand and by a peristaltic action from the tip of tongue to the base. So proper positioning is very important. Feeding in lateral position after in cesarean delivery, because there is stitches in abdomen, so lateral position feeding can be advised, because she cannot sit because of the anesthesia and the stitches. So lateral position is advised. Otherwise she should sit in the bed properly and holding the baby in upright position on her lap, and proper positioning is given, and so that it should be comfortable for baby as well as for mother. In some cases, there can be chance of asphyxia because of suffocation. There may be death of baby, especially in sleeping position. So as far as possible, feeding should be in sitting position. Mother should sit properly and take that baby on her lap in upright position, holding that baby in proper manner, and feeding should be started. Avoidance of sleeping position because of the chances of suffocation and fetal death. So this is the proper technique for feeding. Immediately after feeding, the proper or important thing which is advised is burping, that is called as breaking the wind. After feeding, all the babies swallow the amount of air during sucking. The babies usually swallow the air while they are sucking the feeding. They have the air in their birth passage. So to break up this wind, baby should be held upright against the chest of mother, and back of baby is gently patted till the baby belches out the air. Baby have that typical sound that is called as burping. So this is to break up the air. It's better to break up the wind in the middle of sucking so that stomach is empty and proper feeding should be given. But at least after breastfeeding, each and every time baby should be patted gently on its back and the air should be removed. That is called as burping. It's very important. Every time after feeding, we should do the burping. We should advise for the burping. So factors for the successful breastfeeding are the proper position of mother and baby, attachment of mother and baby, that is the bond, psychological bond in between them, nursing technique so that there should be not pain, there should not be retraction of nipple, incomplete emptying of the nipple. So nursing technique or proper technique of breastfeeding is very important. So these are the things which we should advise for during this preparium or during this feeding session, because these things are important so that there will be successful lactation. In some cases, there may be difficulty for natural breastfeeding, and some problems can be there in maternal as well as in fetal thing. So the things which are responsible for difficulty in breastfeeding due to mother, there may be sometimes diseases of mother like cancer, tuberculosis or major diseases which are not allowed for the breastfeeding. So major diseases in mother. Then secondly, anxiety and stress, especially in primipara patients are very anxious and very stressful. So they don't know the proper technique, the importance, the position. So there is lack of knowledge about this nowadays because of the UNICEF and WHO policy. There is this awareness session and counseling sessions are started during the ANC clinic only. So proper knowledge about this feeding and other things is given. But still, if in primary patient there is stress and anxiety, then there will be no secretion of milk, and because of that breastfeeding is not possible. Sometimes after operative delivery like cesarean, because of the overuse of analgesia, anesthesia, maybe because of pain in stitches and other things, patients are not comfortable for this breastfeeding. If in some patients because of severe anemia or because of lack of nutrition in mother or because any health problem, there is inadequate milk production, then also breastfeeding is not possible. Sometimes because of diseases of breast like cracked nipples, engorgement of this breast, and there is no secretion of milk, in that condition, depressed nipple, mastitis, in that condition feeding is not possible. So these are the factors, maternal factors which are responsible for the incomplete or difficulties in breastfeeding. Fetal factors which are there, those are the low birth weight baby, those babies which have poor growth. Those babies cannot have the proper sucking reflex, so they cannot suck the feeding. Then babies with some illness like respiratory tract infection, nasal obstruction, babies with severe jaundice, oral diseases or mouth problems after birth, or any infections major or minor after birth that can be leading to difficulty in feeding. Over distension of stomach, and because of the some congenital diseases, congenital malformations, improper growth of baby. So all these factors can have failure of feeding. So baby cannot have this natural feeding. Baby cannot suck and baby is not able for the feeding. There are some contraindications for breastfeeding. In those conditions, we don't allow the patient for the feeding. And the contraindications are some illnesses or diseases after delivery, infections especially after delivery, breast complications like cracked nipples, mastitis, breast abscess, viral infections like herpes viral infection. So these are the diseases in which we don't allow the mother for the breastfeeding. Then some other diseases like tuberculosis, pulmonary tuberculosis, puerperial psychological diseases in some patients where there are severe psychological disorders. In those we cannot allow that mother for handling this feeding. We cannot allow basically that baby with that mother because of the severe psychological problems. Patient with high dose of anti-epileptic drugs, patient with anti-psychotic drugs, patient with anti-cancer drugs. In those patients also we don't allow for breastfeeding. Then babies with cleft palate. This is the congenital disease of baby where there is a cleft palate or there is separation of palate. In that baby cannot suck properly, so we don't allow. Baby with asphyxia, baby with low birth weight babies, and baby with acute infections after delivery. In those also we don't allow for breastfeeding, but because proper sucking is not possible for them, those babies, and they can be suffocate and death of baby can be there. So these are the contraindications of breastfeeding. Some drugs, as we had discussed, anti-tubercular, anti-cancer, anti-malarial, some radiotherapeutic drugs. These drugs are, whenever patient is under these drugs or under this treatment, we don't allow her for feeding. Also in patient with less nutrition, severe anemia, patient with lack of nutrition and there is lack of milk secretion, so we don't allow in those patients also for breastfeeding. So this is about the indications and contraindications of breastfeeding. Care of breast and other things we can advise: daily washing and proper cleaning. There are some complications of this breastfeeding also. In some females there may be cracked nipples, there may be excessive accumulation of milk in breast that can cause mastitis if not treated, breast abscess, breast engorgement. So these are the some complications, but they are very few and can be easily treated by if feeding is taken in proper schedule and by proper technique. These things can be avoided. So that is the importance of breastfeeding. This is the concept. Breastfeeding is very nowadays it is very much advisable because of the importance of this breast milk, which is very high in all the antibodies required for baby, and the vitamins, minerals and carbohydrates, fat, which is essential for baby's growth, is available in breast milk in proper manner. Whatever quantity is required for that baby, it is available in that manner. So it is very ideal food for baby. So breastfeeding is very important, and as we had seen in advantages, it is of no cost, is very easily available, and it contains all the nutrients and other things. So we should encourage the patients for natural feeding. And it is very simple technique. In primary patient we have to advise about this technique of feeding and other things, or otherwise it is very natural phenomenon. We don't have to do anything about this, but we just have to encourage the patient for having this feeding and proper interval between that feeding. This is not like that a patient feeding breast milk is very important or very rich in all the things, so patient should have all the time this feeding, but patient should maintain the interval in between 3 to 4 hours, or depend on the baby's condition and other things. Feeding should be given after a proper interval, and it should be completed, as it contains two types of milk, foremilk and hindmilk, and both milks are important for baby. So proper emptying of the breast should be advised. And after breastfeeding, immediately burping is very important to remove this air from the baby's air tract. That is very important. Or sometimes because of this feeding and the improper technique, patient or baby may get this asphyxia or obstruction and chances of death, fetal death, are also seen because of lack of knowledge about this feeding and after removing of this air. So we should aware, or we should encourage about these things. UNICEF and WHO already set up the centers and in each nursing homes, but as a practitioner we should also encourage for this breastfeeding. We should counsel the patient about this importance. So that is about breastfeeding, natural feeding. In some patients where this natural feeding is not possible, as we had seen contraindications of breastfeeding, in those patients we have to advise for artificial feeding. Artificial feeding is given in the patients who have severe diseases, infections, taking treatment for cancer, tuberculosis, or any other major diseases, hormonal treatment, steroidal treatment. So in those patients we advise for artificial feeding. Usually this artificial feeding is done by the spoon feeding. Bottle feeding is not advised, but many times because of the some other factors or marketing strategies, patient use this bottle, but it is not hygienic, that causes repeated infections in baby. So spoon feeding is advisable, as we can wash and we can boil the instruments or sterile the instrument. So spoon feeding is advised. Artificial feeding is available as in the lactogen form, that is powdered milk, or cow milk. As in Indian scenario, we usually advise for cow milk, but the lactogen powder is also available, which is nearly same with the breast milk. So we advise for that milk. Preparation of that milk and other things are given on that. If patient is using this cow milk, just adding little amount of water in that, and we can feed the baby with that milk. Schedule, again, it depends on the condition, but 3 to 4 hours interval is advised, and quantity required as per requirement of baby. We should adjust the amount. Even after this artificial feeding, burping is very important, removing of this air after each feeding. That is about artificial feeding. This is only recommended in condition where there is contraindication to breastfeeding because of maternal or fetal factor, or else only breastfeeding till 6 months is advised. After this breastfeeding, or after the 6 months, when weaning should be started. Weaning is the process during which baby should start the external food. Rather than the breastfeeding, baby should start the supplement food, or the supplementary diet should be started, and that process is called as weaning. This is from 6 months to 1 year, where we start the supplementary food, or other than the food which is other than breastfeeding. Now in this period, baby required 150 to 200 calories per kg per body weight. So breast milk is not sufficient for growth of baby, so we add some artificial food, and that food, or that semi-solid food, is weaning food, or that process is weaning. The semi-solid food may be just boiled rice, dal, boiled fish, egg, in semi-solid manner. We make a paste of that, and we advised for the feeding with, again, spoon feeding is advised with proper cleaning. Sterilization of instrument is advised. After proper sterilization, that means just washing in boiled water or hot water, spoon and that utensil, and boiled these things are given in semi-solid form, just nearly about its liquid form to semi-solid form. We have to change the diet of baby from liquid to semi-solid, and this process is called as weaning. That adding the supplementary food in the baby's diet, that is weaning. Sometimes this weaning causes diarrhea, allergic things, psychological problems in babies, but they are very rare, because weaning is the natural phenomenon where baby gets the additional food from 6 months to 1 year. So that is about natural feeding of baby, and that is breastfeeding, if not artificial feeding. And after this breastfeeding, weaning should be started for achieving the proper growth of baby. 6 months to 1 year is the period for weaning. After that, normal diet is advised for baby. So that is about feeding of newborn baby.